one, do not ask permission. Do not ask permission. You know, there are people born into this world that love to, I call them go-lights. They want to, yes, let's go. Let's, you know, that'd be like, you know, Navy SEALs, right? You know, they're like all born with, let's take the hill, right? Or take the sea or whatever. And there are people that are born that just, you've met them. Hopefully you're not married to one, but there are people that just are like Debbie Downers on everything. You know, it's like just, oh, you know, you can't do that. You can't do that. And those are red lighters. They want to stop everything. Well, that's who the bureaucracy hires to run their operations. Okay? And so the easy thing, if you have to ask permission, is, can I do this? Can I not? The easiest thing to do is just to say no. And it doesn't make them bad people. It doesn't make them evil. You need to understand that the easy approach is to just say no, because then they don't have to be responsible for anything, and they can go on and get their, you know, Arby's lunch and move on with life. So here's the deal. If you don't know what you can do, don't ask. You need to know what you can do. And if you don't know, just do it anyway, which is number 2. Go ahead and do it. Here's the deal. If you're pushing the envelope and some bureaucrat doesn't like what you're doing, they'll tell you at some point. You can fly under the radar for a long time if you don't do a whole bunch of social media. Look, if you're pushing the envelope, don't go spreading it around on social media. Just be under the radar. Be a guerrilla. Be a, you know, in the Confederacy, the Mosby's Raider. You know, be the underneath the radar. Don't advertise. I mean, I've had people that got along fine for years, and they decided to post advertisements around town. Next thing you know, 5 bureaucrats are knocking on the door. So you know, 80% of all marketing comes from satisfied customers spreading by word of mouth anyway.
So this is a lactation stage chart. Again, just another quick Google search. I took this one from ontario.ca, but again, like a whole bunch of them will come up if you do it. And I could map her on there. So say I body condition scored her at 2.5, I could say she's about 100 days in melt. Okay, she's in a good spot. But if she wasn't, then I could start thinking how I could meet her needs better. Another really great way to help meet your cow's needs is to ask before you buy. So before you buy your milk cow, ask the farmer, what are they feeding them? And this is going to give you an indication of what that cow needs to be able to meet her energy requirements.
So like you said, whether it's hay, mulch, chips, leaves, whatever, that your drip tape or whatever is under that, so that it's not just evaporating and you get that done. So if you do use water that you're pumping, make sure that it's under something covered with mulch, okay? And wherever you get that mulch, I don't care. Go find a horse farm or something that's got a bunch of, you know, stuff. But anyway, make sure it's under mulch. Put your drip tape down, then put your bedding on top, so that that stuff begins that decomposition, because then that ties in with everything they've already said.
Let me add real quick to that. And I want to just hone in on the trees and the perennials and the root growth and what happens underground besides getting stuff on top of the ground. And just like grasses, when you cut them back and the roots slough off, and that's building organic matter, you can do the same thing with some of these hardy trees and things that will grow in your area. That's also going to start to hold water in that soil. So don't look away from the perennial opportunities.
The other question I had was, how far away do you keep your pastures where you're running your cows and pigs and stuff away from your, like, well? Is there a perimeter around your well that you have to watch? No?
Not if you're managing correctly. I mean,
Okay.
if you're piling manure up around your well, that's not going to be good. But if you're managing correctly,
Okay.
that's not going to be a problem.
I want to take this one step farther, because I like to do the big visioning stuff. Okay, so back in the 70s, the University of Wisconsin sent a bunch of meteorology students to the Rajputana Desert in India, and they fenced off about, I don't know, 5 or 6 square miles. It wasn't huge, but it was significant. and just kept the nomadic overgrazing out of it. And within 5 years, they completely changed the rain patterns in that area, and it quit being a desert. If you want to have your mind blown, look at what Walter Yennie, Jenne, Walter Yennie from Australia, he's the leading global guru scientist, Dr. Walter Yennie, explaining how water vapor condenses, and it needs bacteria to condense on. Water can't condense, water vapor can't condense just in the air. It has to have a particle. So vegetation exudes bacteria. Millions and millions of bacteria exuded up into the atmosphere that then create condensation particles for evaporation to condense on. And so I know you've only got 20 acres, you don't have 5 square miles, but I can tell you the work that's been done in these other areas have changed weather patterns in extremely small areas. And so you'd be the tip of the spear for undesertifying your area.
Thank you.
Check out a video with Jeff Lawton in the Sonoran Desert. And there are some earthworks that were done in Roosevelt era. And I'm trying to remember the name of it. If you just Google on YouTube, like Jeff Lawton, Sonoran Desert, and it'll blow your mind just from slowing the water down what has happened in the desert out there. It'll blow your mind. So just Google that.